Well, welcome back, and I have in the studio with us for a little bit here, Polina and Steve, to kind of further the comment on what's going on in Capitol Hill this morning as former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is before the Special Select Committee on Benghazi. And you've been tracking it a little bit. How's it going?
A little bit, yeah. Well, it's she's gotten there within the past hour, and already the testifying is going on that way. Hundreds of people gathered at this place, of course, as you might think, very interesting, about what happened behind the scenes. What did she know? What didn't she? That caused, the death of our ambassador in residence there, anyway. And so Trey Gowdy had his opening statements. And right now what's happening is she is taking some questions from some of the Congress people about some of the details of things and emails. It always gets back to Hillary Clinton to emails, it seems, and what she sent and didn't send, what did she know back in 2012. So we're kind of at the beginning stages, and this probably will last for a good part of the day.
I would imagine it would too. Polina, do you think it would be interesting from your perspective, because you've watched American politics from afar. Now you're living in the country, you see it a little bit closer. Have you ever seen a candidate with this much scandalous baggage get elected to anything?
No, I mean, it really is surprising. But at the same time, I'm pretty positive she's going to walk out of it. And I hate to say that, but I really don't.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that our president is not responsible for anything he's done. He can be impeached so many times by now, and he's not. And Clintons could be punished for what they've done and the money laundering and a lot of things. Yeah. And nothing has ever happened. So even though I really hope that the miracle will happen and she'll either admit or at least help FBI investigate, and we'll understand whether those deaths could have been prevented, whether she did send the emails that could have jeopardized the security and the safety of our ambassador there. I hope something good will come out, but for some reason it's hard for me to really believe that. I don't know, what about you guys? You live here. Isn't it crazy to even witness this?
Well, the thing that strikes me is that here you have Congress people who are doing the investigation. And while some of them have been prosecutors, not all of them are, and some of them clearly are favorable of this too. So, the expectations, it's not like she's on trial, she's there for a hearing. What comes out of this, we'll have to wait and see if there's anything that they can find that they didn't know before. And this gets back to what you talked about earlier, just a couple days ago, hundreds of pages of email documents that they had to sift through to figure out that they hadn't seen before, that really are contingent on what this hearing is about today. And if they can find things that were inappropriate. Because what you end up having is Chris Stevens and several others who died in those attacks. And you remember, I think we have to remember the aftermath was the Obama administration came out and said it was those videos that incited the rioting there. And it was shown, no, that's not true. And yet, the person who actually was the one who came out to the media and said that's what the problem was still has her job within the Obama administration. And she was totally wrong on all of this. And so you don't leave somebody like that in that kind of a position, and yet she's still there.
I think you've hit on one of the big key points, why we're not going back to the video thing. As I said to Liz Peek just a few moments ago, I don't know if this has ever been done in one of these select committees, but if you do the timeline from the time that the ambassador and his colleagues were killed up to when they came out with the story of the video.
And Susan Rice came out and said that's what it was.
If you just keep going down that timeline, I would run the video of Hillary Clinton standing behind the podium in that Air Force hangar with those 4 caskets and hearse behind her, still perpetuating the video and demonizing the video as to why these 4 people are dead. And then show her the timeline that your statement, and you knew it, was a total lie.
Well, and also her statement to Congress later saying, what does it matter how these 4 people died? I mean, that was incriminating right there. I think that gets back to what you were talking about, that kind of insensitivity. How can we put somebody like that in the top job? I mean, that's got to be a question, no matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, to come back to say, is this who we want representing the United States?
And I know earlier you said that you hope they separate the email issue from the Benghazi issue, and in some way.
Yeah.
But I do.
And we're talking about her personal emails,
her personal
right?
emails.
Yes.
But if you think about it, and some of the things that they found in those personal emails were the itinerary of Christopher Stevens. You know, this is something that should be so classified that was part of her in her private server. The details of the CIA agent that was working under strict cover is in her private emails. So even though I do hope that those issues are separate, I do wonder, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Did you not have that moment to say, this is top security stuff and it shouldn't be on my private server?
It's
you would
your
hope
job
so,
to protect
but,
those people.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fine line because Chairman Gowdy has to use some of the email issues to get the information concerning Benghazi without crossing the line into the FBI investigation of email issues going onto her personal server.
Which are separate, yeah.
Which is a separate thing. And so you got, but here's the bottom line. I think Liz made a statement a few moments ago, Liz Peek from Fox News when I had her on. She said this: I think most people have made up their mind about Hillary, no matter what happens with this hearing. Do you believe that?
Yeah, yes. You know, we have talked about this before. You're going to have people who are going to support her no matter what Hillary says. Right. And no matter what Hillary says, you're going to have people who will say, I cannot support this woman at all anyway. So it is very polarized. This isn't where people are musing saying, well, this will help me decide whether I'm going to support Hillary for president or not. I think people are looking at it, and these are issues that might seem overly detailed for the big part. And they're saying, I still want her because I couldn't take who the Republicans are putting. You know, if it's Donald Trump, I'll take Hillary. You know, I think that's what it's kind of coming down to. So I don't know that people are really evaluating that. Supporters of her, anyway.
One of the guests you had on Focus Today last week said what I thought was interesting is that Democrats, they vote for ideology, not for people. So, you know, Hillary Clinton can go on live TV and strangle a cat, and people would still vote for her just because of the Democratic background that she has. And I wonder if that's something that is really there, that people, like you said,
that's
they're
just talking 40+% of the vote, based upon what you just said. And you add to that, quite frankly, voter fraud and illegal immigration voter registration, she could win. She could win. And the question is, has the country, though, had enough of the liberal policy ideology overall under Obama? No matter what Hillary does and Secretary Kerry does, the big,
well, we'll have to
are
see,
we in a better condition today? There's one thing yet to play out. One thing yet to play out. The full impact of Obamacare doesn't hit the United States until January 1st. And all of a sudden, people's going to lose insurance. They're going to have their premiums go through the roof, and the whole Obamacare issue will be back on the table going into the actual presidential cycle. Now, and I think that will be a big factor here.
I think you're right, because that then takes the ideology and moves away the personality to say, this is the ideology that brought this. We can't perpetuate it. I don't care who the people are. We have to move in a different direction.
Well, interesting times, and throughout the day, I'm sure you'll be in and out of the news and everything else, but she is testifying on Hill, and I think what you'll see is the acceleration of these questions get a little deeper, a little more firm, a little more pointed as the day goes on. She's expected to be there most of the day. So thanks, you guys.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, we'll be right back on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Polina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedove.us.